You've seen the yin and yang symbol countless times, perhaps on a necklace, a t-shirt, or a tattoo. But what if I told you that what you know about it is only the surface of a much deeper secret? What if I told you that the real power behind this symbol has been hidden from you? Most people believe it represents a simple duality, good and evil, light and dark. But the truth is far more profound. There is a force behind this ancient symbol, an energy that ties together the universe itself. The yin and yang isn't just an idea, it's a key, a doorway to understanding how all creation unfolds. This symbol holds the secret to harmony, to the eternal balance that keeps everything in motion. But this is not something the modern world often acknowledges. Western interpretations have reduced the yin and yang to a simplistic battle between opposites, but this couldn't be further from the truth. They don't want you to know that this symbol is a map to the very energy that animates life, a dynamic force that connects you to everything around you. By understanding this energy, you can tap into a power far greater than any material success or physical achievement. What they don't want you to realize is that this symbol is alive. It's a living representation of the forces of creation and destruction, of growth and decay, of stillness and motion. You see, yin and yang are not locked in an eternal struggle, but rather in a sacred dance, each one essential to the existence of the other. Without this delicate balance, the cosmos itself would collapse. And the same is true within you. This symbol is a reminder that you, too, are a part of this dance, and that the energy flowing through you is connected to the deepest mysteries of the universe. For centuries, mystics and sages have known this truth. They understood that the symbol of yin and yang wasn't a representation of good versus evil, but rather a guide to mastering life's flow. When you recognize this, when you begin to understand the deeper meaning, you can unlock an inner power that allows you to move through life with grace, rather than force. This is what they don't want you to have, the knowledge that balance is the secret to power. So, why has this knowledge been obscured, diluted into something simplistic? Perhaps because once you understand the real meaning behind yin and yang, you're no longer bound by external definitions of success or failure. You begin to see beyond the dualities that the world imposes on you, beyond good and bad, beyond right and wrong. You see the underlying flow that connects all things, and once you tap into that, nothing can stop you. The yin and yang is more than a symbol, it is a portal to the infinite. But before we can tap into its full potential, we need to strip away the misconceptions that have clouded our understanding. We need to go beyond what we've been told and rediscover the true power of this ancient wisdom. There is a common misconception, especially in the West, that the yin and yang is about the eternal battle between good and evil. This duality, often reinforced by media and simplified cultural interpretations, distorts the original meaning. Yin and yang are not forces of opposition locked in a moral struggle. They are complementary energies, necessary for each other's existence. It's not a war between light and dark, but a balance that sustains life. This distinction is critical because understanding it reshapes how we see the world and ourselves. In Taoism, from which the yin and yang symbol originates, these two energies are not judged as good or bad. Yin is not evil, nor is yang righteous. Instead, they are seen as natural forces, each essential for the other's existence. Without the yin, there can be no yang, and vice versa. It is like night and day, which continually give way to each other, not because one defeats the other, but because they exist in harmony. This is the balance of life, a rhythm that governs everything, from the changing of the seasons to the beating of your heart. To paint yin and yang as a struggle between good and evil is to misunderstand the essence of the symbol. Life isn't about choosing sides, it's about embracing the flow between these forces. When we fixate on one extreme, we lose our center. The modern world, in its rush to categorize everything into black and white, misses the profound beauty of this balance. Yin and yang are not enemies. They are two sides of the same coin, and together, they represent the fullness of existence. The reason this truth is often obscured is that it challenges the simplistic way we are taught to see the world. It is easier to grasp the concept of conflict, us versus them, good versus bad, than to understand the deeper, subtler play of energies that creates harmony. But once you understand that yin and yang are about balance, not conflict, you can start to live with more peace and purpose. You stop fighting against the natural rhythms of life and instead learn to move with them. Western society tends to glorify action, achievement, and external success, all qualities of the yang energy. Yin, the energy of receptivity, introspection, and stillness, is often seen as passive or even weak. But this is a distortion. Both energies are equally powerful, and both are necessary for a life of balance. The yin gives space for growth, while the yang brings it into action. It's not about one dominating the other, but about how they work together to create harmony. So, if yin and yang are not about good and evil, what are they about? They are about understanding that life is not a battle to be won. It is a dance, a delicate balancing act between forces that seem opposed but are, in fact, inseparable. Once you understand this, you can begin to see the world through new eyes that recognize the interconnection of all things, rather than the separation. And in that understanding lies true power. The essence of yin and yang is balance. It's not about opposition, but complementarity. Think about it: night and day, winter and summer, rest and activity. These aren't opposing forces at war with each other. They are complementary elements, each necessary to maintain the equilibrium of the world. This is the deeper message of the yin and yang. One cannot exist without the other, and the interplay between them creates the flow of life itself. When we look at the symbol of yin and yang, we see a perfect circle. Within it, two teardrop shapes swirl together, each containing a dot of the other. This is not just a symbol of balance, but of interdependence. The dark yin contains a seed of the light yang, and the light yang holds within it a touch of the dark yin. This teaches us that no energy is ever pure or isolated. Instead, they exist in relationship to one another, constantly shifting and transforming. This idea of complementarity extends to every part of your life. Think of moments when you felt overwhelmed by work or stress. That's yang energy in excess, constant action without the balance of rest, without the introspective calm of yin. Or, consider times when you've been stuck, unable to move forward, lost in thought or inaction. That's yin energy in excess. Neither state is sustainable on its own. But when you find the balance between action and rest, between giving and receiving, you tap into the true power of yin and yang. In nature, this balance is obvious. The sun rises and sets. The tides flow in and out. The seasons change. Everything moves in cycles, governed by the constant interplay of yin and yang. And just as these forces govern the external world, they govern your inner world as well. Your thoughts, emotions, and actions are all expressions of this balance. When one side becomes too dominant, imbalance arises, whether it manifests as burnout, anxiety, or stagnation. Yin and yang are reminders that balance is not static. It's dynamic, constantly shifting based on the needs of the moment. Some days, you may need more yang energy, more focus, more action. Other days, the call is for yin, for quiet, reflection, and rest. Both are necessary, and both have their place in the rhythm of life. The key is to be aware of this balance and to adjust accordingly, just as the earth adjusts to the changing seasons. So, the next time you see the yin and yang symbol, don't just think of it as a representation of opposites. See it for what it truly is, a guide to understanding the flow of life. It's a reminder that every aspect of existence is connected, that everything has its place, and that true power comes from embracing the balance between these forces, rather than resisting them. The interplay of yin and yang isn't just about balance, it's about movement, change, and creation. Without opposites, there can be no flow. It's in the tension between yin and yang that life finds its dynamism. Consider this: without darkness, would we appreciate the light? Without stillness, would we know movement? It is through this eternal dance of opposites that the world is set in motion. Far from being static, the yin and yang are constantly interacting, creating the cycles that drive existence itself. This movement is not random, it's the engine of creation. In every aspect of life, we see the push and pull between these energies. It's in the rhythm of your breath, the beating of your heart, the cycles of day and night. Even in the moments of your greatest achievements, there is a balance between effort and surrender, between striving and letting go. This is the secret they don't want you to know, that true creation comes from understanding how to harness the tension between opposites, not by forcing one to dominate the other. Think about the most transformative moments in your life. They likely came from times of great tension or opposition. Maybe you were facing a difficult challenge, and in that moment of struggle, you discovered a hidden strength you didn't know you had. Or perhaps you were at a standstill, feeling lost, and it was in that quiet space that a breakthrough idea or realization came to you. This is the energy of yin and yang at work, the dynamic between rest and action, between tension and release, that propels you forward. The Taoist sages understood that creation is born from this dance. The friction between yin and yang doesn't destroy, it generates. Like the spark that ignites a fire, the meeting of opposites creates the fuel for transformation. This is why the yin and yang are not enemies. They are partners in the grand design of the universe. And when you learn to flow with their rhythm, you tap into a source of power that allows you to move through life with grace, ease, and purpose. In your own life, consider how often you resist the natural flow between these energies. How often do you try to stay in constant action, afraid to rest? Or conversely, how often do you get stuck in inaction, unable to push forward? Both are signs of imbalance. But when you learn to embrace the flow between these two forces, you begin to move in harmony with the universe. You stop resisting, and instead, you allow the natural ebb and flow of yin and yang to carry you forward. So, what does this mean for you? It means that every moment of tension in your life is an opportunity for creation. Every struggle, every moment of rest, every cycle of movement and stillness, it's all part of the greater flow. When you learn to recognize and honor this flow, you step into your true power as a creator, working in harmony with the forces of the universe, rather than against them. Yin energy is often misunderstood as passive or weak. But in truth, yin is the energy of potential, the quiet power of receptivity and introspection. It is the space in which creation happens. Think of the night sky, vast, dark, and seemingly empty. But it's in that darkness that the stars shine the brightest. Yin is the energy that allows space for things to unfold, for ideas to form, for growth to take root. It is the stillness that precedes action, the void from which all things emerge. In many cultures, this receptive energy has been undervalued, seen as passive or even negative. But without the yin, there would be no place for creation. Just as the soil must be tilled and left to rest before seeds can grow, the mind and spirit need moments of quiet, of stillness, for true insight and creativity to emerge. Yin teaches us that sometimes, the most powerful thing we can do is to step back, to observe, to allow things to unfold in their own time. In a world that glorifies action and constant productivity, the energy of Yin can seem foreign or even uncomfortable. We are taught to always be doing, achieving, moving forward. But there is immense power in the moments of pause, in the spaces between actions. Yin invites us to go inward, to reflect, to listen to the quieter voices within us that often get drowned out in the noise of daily life. It is in these moments of stillness that we reconnect with our true selves, with the deeper wisdom that resides within. Yin is also the energy of the void, of emptiness, but not in the sense of lack. It is the fertile emptiness, the space that holds infinite possibilities. Think of a blank canvas before a masterpiece is painted, or the silence before music begins. Without the void, there can be no creation. Yin teaches us to honor this space, to trust in the process of becoming, even when it seems like nothing is happening. It is in the quiet, in the emptiness, that the seeds of creation are planted. The energy of Yin also governs the cycles of rest and renewal. Just as the moon waxes and wanes, just as the seasons shift, we too must honor the natural rhythms of our bodies and spirits. There are times for action and times for rest, and both are equally important. When we neglect the energy of Yin, when we push ourselves too hard, never allowing for rest or reflection, we burn out. But when we embrace the Yin, we create space for rejuvenation, for the deeper work of the soul to take place. So, the next time you feel the pull to constantly do more, to keep pushing forward, remember the power of Yin. Remember that there is strength in stillness, wisdom in waiting, and immense creative potential in the void. By honoring this energy, you tap into a deeper flow, one that allows you to create from a place of balance, rather than burnout. Yang energy is the force of action, expansion, and manifestation. It's the fire that brings ideas to life, the force that propels us into motion. If Yin is the void, the potential, Yang is the spark that ignites it. Yang is the energy of creation in action, it's the doing, the building, the moving forward. But just like Yin, Yang's power comes from its balance. Too much Yang without the grounding of Yin leads to chaos, burnout, and destruction. But in harmony, Yang is the energy that brings dreams into reality. We often think of Yang as the more dominant energy in modern society. We are constantly encouraged to act, to achieve, to make things happen. And while Yang energy is essential for bringing ideas to life, it is not sustainable without the balancing influence of Yin. Yang is the force of expansion, but without the introspection and stillness of Yin, this expansion becomes aimless, unfocused, and ultimately destructive. This is why understanding the balance between these two energies is so crucial. Yang energy is also the force of manifestation. It is the energy that takes the seed planted in the Yin and brings it into the light. Think of the sun shining down on a plant, helping it to grow. Without the warmth and light of the sun, the plant would never break through the soil. But without the soil, without the Yin, it would have nowhere to grow. This is the essence of Yin and Yang working together. Yang gives form to the potential of Yin, and together, they create the cycles of growth and life. In your own life, Yang energy is what drives you to take action, to pursue your goals, to bring your visions into the world. It's the force that pushes you out of your comfort zone and into the unknown, where new opportunities and challenges await. But Yang energy must be tempered with the wisdom of Yin. Too much action without reflection leads to burnout. Too much focus on achievement without inner purpose leads to emptiness. The key is to balance the outward expansion of yang with the inward stillness of yin. One of the greatest misconceptions about yang energy is that it is about force or domination. True yang energy is not about overpowering or controlling. It's about aligning with the natural flow of creation and allowing that flow to guide your actions. When yang is in balance, it is a force of positive, creative action. It is the energy that helps you manifest your dreams, but in a way that is sustainable, in harmony with your inner world and the world around you. So, as you move forward in your life, remember the power of yang, but also remember its need for balance. Action without reflection leads to chaos, but action aligned with purpose and inner stillness leads to true manifestation. This is the energy of creation at its finest, when the fire of yang meets the stillness of yin, and together they bring your vision to life. When we look at the symbol of yin and yang, it's easy to see it as a simple division, black and white, dark and light, split down the middle. But this is a misunderstanding. The symbol is not a static division, it's a dynamic cycle, a flow of energy that is constantly shifting and transforming. Yin and yang are not fixed forces, they are in perpetual motion, continuously flowing into one another. This is why the symbol is a circle, not a line. It represents the eternal cycle of life, where one energy gives birth to the other in an endless dance. If you look closely, you'll notice that within the black of yin, there is a small dot of white, and within the white of yang, there is a small dot of black. This is a reminder that within every yin, there is a seed of yang, and within every yang, there is a seed of yin. This shows that nothing is ever purely one or the other. There is always a balance, a blending of energies, even in the moments when one seems to dominate. This is the beauty of the yin and yang. It's not about rigid categories, but about the fluidity of life itself. This cycle of transformation is what keeps life in motion. Just as day turns into night, and winter gives way to spring, yin flows into yang, and yang flows back into yin. It is the natural rhythm of existence. And when you align with this rhythm, you become part of the flow, rather than resisting it. You begin to see that change is not something to fear, but something to embrace. It is through this constant transformation that life evolves, grows, and thrives. The yin and yang symbol also teaches us that balance is not about staying in the middle. It's about moving with the cycles of life. There will be times when more yin energy is needed, times for rest, introspection, and stillness. And there will be times when yang energy is required, times for action, creation, and expansion. The key is to recognize these cycles and to flow with them, rather than trying to force life into a fixed pattern. This is where true harmony lies, not in rigidity, but in fluidity. This continuous cycle is also a reminder that nothing in life is permanent. Just as yin flows into yang, and yang flows back into yin, everything in life is in a state of change. Success turns into challenge, and challenges turn into opportunities. This is the nature of life's flow. When we accept this, we stop clinging to the past or fearing the future. We learn to trust the process, knowing that every cycle brings new growth and new possibilities. So, the next time you see the yin and yang symbol, remember that it's not just a symbol of balance, it's a symbol of life's eternal flow. It's a reminder that everything is connected, and that within every ending is a new beginning. When you understand this, you can move through life with greater ease, trusting in the natural cycles of creation, destruction, and rebirth that govern all things. The yin and yang is not just a symbol of balance, it's a map for understanding the deeper forces that shape your life. It's a guide to the energy that flows through everything, connecting you to the universe in ways you may never have realized. Now that you know the truth, now that you understand the secret energy behind this symbol, how will you use it? How will you bring more balance, more harmony into your life? This is not about choosing between yin and yang, but about embracing both. It's about recognizing the cycles in your own life, the times for action and the times for rest, the moments of light and the moments of darkness, and learning to flow with them. When you align yourself with these natural rhythms, you unlock a power that goes beyond anything external. You tap into the very energy that creates worlds. Now that you understand the true meaning of yin and yang, take a moment to reflect. Where in your life are you out of balance? Are you stuck in constant action, always pushing forward without ever taking a breath? Or are you lost in inaction, waiting for the perfect moment that never seems to come? Wherever you are, know that you have the power to restore balance. You have the power to realign with the flow of life. The secret they don't want you to know is that this power has always been within you. The yin and yang symbol is just a reminder of what you've always had, the ability to create harmony within yourself and with the world around you. This is not something that can be taken away from you. It's a truth that resides deep within your soul, waiting for you to rediscover it. So, what will you do with this knowledge? How will you bring more balance into your life, more peace, more harmony? The yin and yang is a tool, a guide, a doorway to a life of deeper meaning and connection. The power is in your hands. The question is, are you ready to use it?